Hey you guys, so we are back with another video, and guess what we're making today? That's right, we are making macaroni and cheese. Now don't get nervous, I got you. We're gonna go through each step. Now mac and cheese is not for rookies. You gotta be up there with the heavyweights to make mac and cheese, especially if you want to bring it to like Christmas or Thanksgiving. If you want to be in charge of that, you gotta really be on your A game. You had to be in the kitchen with grandmom or your mom to really know how to make mac and cheese. But we're gonna walk through the steps together. I'm gonna show y'all what I do. Now everybody make their mac and cheese different. Some people use cream cheese, some people use sour cream, some people use Velveeta. I'm not doing all that. I'm showing y'all the way my mama taught me. Now, your mama taught you different, that's fine. But I'm showing you how my mama did it, and I ain't changing it. So, if your mac and cheese don't turn out right after this, don't come looking at me, because I didn't do it. Okay? All right, you guys, so we are about to start our mac and cheese. So, we have our cooked noodles already done. We have our cheese right here. Before we get into the cheese, we're going to go over some of the seasonings that I use. Now, like I said before, I'm doing it the way my mom taught me. The only difference from how she made it is I add a little extra seasoning than she did. So, of course, we have our paprika. We have our adobo, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, milk. You can use whatever milk is best for you. Now, I've used it with 2% before, and, of course, whole milk. Now, as far as almond milk or any other like soy or anything, I never used it. So if you want to try it, let me know how it turns out. We have our minced garlic right here. And now the cheese, I use 5 different cheese. We got mild cheddar, sharp cheddar, New York aged cheddar, Colby Jack. And there was something else, I forgot. It was probably another cheddar. But that's all the cheeses that I use. Now you can use other cheeses. It's up to you. You can put whatever cheese you want. Make it how you want to make. We have 2 sticks of butter and 2 eggs. 2, not 24. Don't let nobody tell you to put 24 eggs in your mac and cheese. We're not doing that. So over here we have our cooked pasta. It's already been cooked and drained, and it's al dente, not mushy. You don't want mushy pasta. I can guarantee you, if you make mushy pasta, you written off automatically. Over and done with. We're not asking you to make it no more. So, let's start with our butter. We're gonna, now, even though our pasta is still hot, because we just drained it, I'm still gonna turn the heat to low, just so we can have a consistent heat. So we're gonna add in 1 stick of butter. We're going to get our other stick of butter. I'm working with one hand. Again, production, this is a one-woman show. So, we're just going to put our butter in. I kind of like to cover it with the pasta so it kind of melts while I'm getting everything else together. So, we put in our butter. And then we're going to add in our eggs. 1 at a time. Now, don't be trying to be all fancy doing it with one hand. If you can't do it with one hand, that's fine. Because we don't want no shells in there since you trying to be all fancy. So, we have our eggs. Now, you want to stir that up when you put your eggs in. Only because by the pasta being hot, the eggs will cook. So, you kind of want to stir that around. Stir that in. All right, now you can add your seasoning in before your cheese or after cheese. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to add in some adobo. Now, if you notice, I really don't measure. I just kind of go until my ancestors say stop. But you never want to add too much because you can always add more if it's not enough. But once you add too much, you can't take it out. So you always want to start off light first. And that's our black pepper. We have our garlic powder. Let's get our onion powder. Put that in. Now you can add your parsley at the end or now. It doesn't really matter. Let's kind of open the other end. It doesn't really matter. But we're just going to add that in now. We're just going to add in some garlic. I don't know where my spoon is, so we're just going to add a little bit in. You kind of want to stir that around. You see our butter is melting. Now, again, everybody make their mac and cheese different. So, you know, don't be saying, oh, my God, that's not how I make it. Okay, make it how you make it. But this is how I make it. So, you stir that around. And then we are going to add in our cheese. All right, we're going to use our hands for the rest of it. Again, clean hands. Wash your hands. Even after quarantine, wash your hands. Alright, so we have all our cheese added in. And I kind of turn up the heat just a little before medium. So it's low, but not high. So before you add in your milk, you're just going to stir the cheese around. Make sure all the cheese is incorporated. Now, I have some shredded mozzarella in the refrigerator. I don't normally use shredded cheese in my mac and cheese. I'm just used to, again, this is the way my mom taught me. And she always cut up the cheese. Y'all remember on Sunday while your mom was at church, she made you cut up the cheese or pluck the string beans while she was at church? Yeah, that was my Sundays. So, we got the cheese and everything in there. Now, this is the trickiest part to mac and cheese. This is where most people fail. So, we're going to get our milk. The reason why people fail with mac and cheese is because they don't understand the milk to pasta ratio. You got to understand when you're adding your milk and you put it in the oven, the pasta is going to absorb the milk. So if you don't add in enough milk, your mac and cheese is going to be dry. So we're going to add in our milk. And you're just going to stir it around. Now, you can see right there that that's not even enough milk. You can automatically look at that and see that that's not enough milk. So we're going to add in some more. And you see the cheese is starting to melt. Now, you got to be careful because you don't want to add too much cheese. Because then you put it in the oven, it's going to spill all in the oven. And then now, your house is smelling like burnt cheese. But you got to remember, it's going to absorb in the oven. So you gotta kind of eyeball it. Practice makes perfect. So me, even though it looks like that, it's kind of like, you see how it has the puddle of the puddle of milk. I would still add just a little bit more. I'm gonna just turn my heat up a little bit. I kind of want to have that all melted together. Now, again, some people use Velveeta. Some people use cream cheese. Me, I don't like using Velveeta or like the jar cheese, because if I want creamy mac and cheese, I'm gonna make Velveeta. I don't want that. I want my mac and cheese to be cheesy, and I just don't like it that way. But if you like it that way, then that's fine. Now, at this point, it's best to taste your mac and cheese. I'm going to add in some more black pepper. I kind of like to see the specks of the black pepper. And be careful with your seasons. You don't want to add too much. All right, so we're going to get a spoon. You want to taste it right here, because you don't want to put in your seasonings and then put it in the oven, and then once it's done baking and it comes out the oven, you taste it and it has no flavor whatsoever. So you always want to taste your food before the finished product. So let me grab a... All right, you guys, so at this point, now I like to put minced garlic, and like I said, I like garlic, so I'm just going to add in a tablespoon of minced garlic. I'm just going to stir that around. Now, I have my plastic spoons. I have 3 because I'm going to taste it. Never double dip. Never double dip. So, we're just going to try and get everything. And you want to, you know, see the milk. You want to get that because you want to make sure it's well seasoned. Okay, so I can definitely taste the garlic. Now, me personally, I'm going to add in some more adobo. We don't need any more garlic since we added the garlic. We're going to add in some more cayenne powder. And I'm just going to add in some more parsley. And then stir. Y'all see that? Y'all see the cheese melting? All right, so we're going to add this to the pan. Now, I'm a one person, so it's a one woman show. I got to get my production team together, so I'll be right back. I'm going to put this in the pan. All right, you guys, so we have transported our mac and cheese from the pot to the pan. Now, at this point, I added some shredded mozzarella cheese. Normally, I don't use shredded cheese or add shredded cheese to the top, but since I do have a big bag of mozzarella in the refrigerator, I did add some to the top. More cheese won't hurt. We all love cheese. So at this point, you don't want to add paprika to it yet. You want to let it bake first, and we're going to cover it with aluminum foil. And I'll say put it in the oven for about an hour at 350. And then you want to take the aluminum foil off, and you want to lightly sprinkle the top with paprika, and then let it bake for another, I'll say about 30 to 40 minutes. And then your mac and cheese will be done. And we're going to show you the product. All right, y'all. So the mac and cheese is fresh out of the oven. I sprinkled some parsley on top for the finished product. Let's just see how it looks. See that? It's not all watery or nothing. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to post pictures of the final plate, okay?